Next up for Manchester United, freezing conditions in the Czech Republic on a Europa League away day against Viktoria Plzen. Now, sorry Gary Neville, cover your ears, because Ruben Amorim is going to rotate again, both in his starting 11 and in game with subs, just like he has in every single match so far. Let's run through the team news plus our starting 11 and match prediction for United's trip to Europe on Thursday. Right then, so football, thick and fast, football everywhere, every 3 days in December is what it is. We face Forest at the weekend. We've got a trip to the Czech Republic on Thursday in the Europa League. And then we've got City on Sunday. I don't think Ruben Amorim will be focusing too much on Sunday, but there will be changes, just like there has been changes in every single game. I'm going to run through my predicted 11, the changes from the Forest game, the training squad, who travelled, all that. And you can let me know what you think in the comments below. Please do drop a like on the video if you can. But Ruben Amorim there, jeez, looking sharp as always. Travelling across to the Czech Republic. That's going to be the stadium there. It's a very small away allocation. I think it's only 600. Got to have some serious credits to get that bad boy. I don't have any. Anyway, it's going to be cold AF. Come kick-off tomorrow, you're going to be looking at around about 0 degrees temperature, which you're going to feel more like -2, -3. Get your gloves on. Martial and the black gloves. Jeez. Anyway, Johnny Evans was back in training. Victor Lindelof was back in training. And Toby Collier was as well, which I think means the only player who was missing with injury was Luke Shaw. Imagine that. So this is the travelling squad. Everyone went over there. No Johnny Evans. Actually, he didn't go over. Victor Lindelof was fit enough to travel, and so was Toby Collier. Let's run through the starting 11, because this was the team that faced Forest at the weekend. And as has been the case in every game so far, there's going to be changes from Ruben Amorim. And you know, a player I haven't, during any of these conversations, and I think is a kind of a testament to his overall season, I haven't mentioned him once. So, Nana. And the fact that I'm mentioning him now is coming off the back of that mistake and how he played against Forest. He needs to bury that and move straight on. Last season, when he was talking about moving on from mistakes, more came. That can't be a repeating pattern this year from Onana, right? It was poor. He should have done better. But he'll be in goal, and there won't be any change there. Now, in terms of defence, I wonder whether there'll be a change with Martinez. And is that because of form? Is that because of just rotation? I'm not quite sure. A bit of both, I think, if I'm being honest. I don't personally feel that Martinez has been Martinez still since his injury. There's been moments, but just the timing was always so natural to him, and I don't think that's quite there yet. So I'm going to put Mazraoui in as left-sided centre-back. And with De Ligt, I think I'm going to chop and change with Maguire as well. I thought Maguire played that role quite well. I think he will play that role quite well as the central centre-back. And I'm going to keep Lenny Yoro there for minutes. I'm keeping Yoro there because I think I want him to start against City. If he's got 60 against Forest, do the same thing here against Plzen, take him off, and he should be fit to start, and maybe even complete 90 against City. We'll find out. But I would start him here from a minutes perspective. And in terms of the fullbacks, I'm going to bring Malacia in for Delo. I want to keep Ahmad there, and I'll tell you exactly why I want to keep Ahmad there. Definitely in for his creativity in this game. I thought Malacia was actually pretty good at left back against Arsenal in the first 45. He was taken off because of that's managing the minutes rather than he had a poor performance. I thought he actually did well to nullify Saka in what was a deeper formation from United where a lot of pressure was on him. I think Malacia starts this game at left wing back. And I'm keeping Ahmad as right wing back because I'm making changes in midfield, or should I say making a singular change. I'm going to be dropping Mainu to the bench and bringing in Casemiro, which you might say is a crazy thing to do. Mainu is still clearly finding his feet, finding his fitness. And in this game, and this is why I'm saying I really do want Ahmad in this starting 11. Because with those two there, it should protect the defence. Do you need to protect your defence against Viktoria Plzen? I mean, on paper, United are going to be favourites, but that hasn't exactly served United well too often over the last few years. Casemiro and Ugarte is probably more of a defensively minded midfield. But away from home in Europe, I'm fine with that, really. Kind of as a default, because you don't really know what to expect when you go in there. And that's a big reason why I want to keep Ahmad in here from a creative perspective. I don't think there's going to be too much creativity through the middle with this formation. Well, there won't be. So I'm keeping Ahmad in there. And I think the interesting conversations around the attackers. You could start Mason Mount. I don't think he'll start in this game, but I want to speak about Rashford. So Rashford, of course, was left out the starting 11 against Forest. He came off the bench and didn't impact the game at all. I think Bruno will keep his spot, and maybe we'll see the same thing again after 60, 65 minutes, again from a fitness perspective. Not even just a fitness perspective, but keeping everyone 100% fresh. Bruno could play 90 minutes every week, but he's just going to start fatiguing. 60 minutes for Bruno here, and maybe Mount comes on. It depends whether or not we see Rashford start. And again, this is why I'm saying that I really want to keep Ahmad in this team from a creative perspective. I think we'll need his runs down this side. Well, runs inside too, really, from that wing-back position. It's either Rashford or Zirkzee that's going to play there, I think. But again, it's kind of just speculation. It's really hard. It is really hard because there is no attacker in this team that is forcing his way into that starting 11. It's like you're choosing an out-of-form Rashford or an out-of-form Garnacho or a Zirkzee who's hardly really impacting games, or a Bruno that's kind of hit and miss, and maybe you could throw Mason Mount in there too. I'm going to put Rashford in partly because he just needs to prove himself, but so does Garnacho. Yeah, so does Zirkzee. That's what I mean. I'm going to start Rashford. You could start Rashford or Zirkzee there. It doesn't really matter. And I'm going to keep Højlund up front. And look, I might be wrong. You may well see Zirkzee play as the centre forward. So you could, in theory, see that. And Zirkzee end up dropping deeper as more like the false 9, which is what he did, I think, against Bodo Glimt. So maybe he will operate the same sort of policy in Europe and play Zirkzee as the centre forward. Sod it. Let's go for that, because that's what happened against Bodo Glimt. Look, on paper, how many changes is that for me? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 changes, which I think is kind of on par with pretty much what Amorim has done so far. 5 or 6 changes per game. United need to win. But United also need to have an eye on City. And that's why I think you're looking at the likes of Yoro hopefully starting and coming off after 50, 55 minutes. The same goes for Bruno. The same goes for Ahmad. Probably the same goes for Mazraoui and maybe Ugarte. If you're going to make, is it 5 subs you can make? I'll probably make those 5. You can let me know what you think in the comments below. But I'm going to go with that team. And prediction-wise, I'm going to go for 3-1. I've got no idea what to expect. All right? Neither do you. It's going to be cold. It's Europa League. Just do the job. And that's kind of why I've gone for a little bit more of a solid midfield in Casemiro and Ugarte, more defensively minded. Just do the job away from home in Europe. Nothing spectacular. Nothing roller coaster. Try and get the win. I've gone for 3-1. That's my starting 11. Plenty of changes. Gary Neville won't be happy. Let me know what you think in the comments below.